Oh, hell yes. Welcome to the ECR Hub. We are live, episode 2. We are having one hell of a damn good time. I want to welcome the co-hosts, Michael Kenner, Luis Salmaso. Welcome back to the ECR Hub, gentlemen.
What's up?
All right. Good evening, guys.
Absolutely. Now, quickly, before we move on to our two special guests, I do have to say, our other host, Nick Elias, he decided to skip on us this week, head on down to Atlanta for some early tire testing with Mr. Grossclothes. Hey, it is what it is, right? We all got to get them, yeah, that's right.
Important. I see what's more important, all right.
Yeah, screw the hub. Let's go get ready for those wins, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, moving on right to our special guest. We have the Daytona 500 winner in our presence tonight, AJ Scarborough. Welcome to the Hub.
How's everyone tonight?
All right.
I just got to say, we're much better now that you're in our presence.
For sure.
And we also have the race controller for the Daytona 500. We cannot wait to talk with him because we know that was one hell of a stressful job. And he was also our Truck Series winner on Wednesday night, first ECR win of his career. And I'm pretty sure, was that your first race, Mr. Downey?
Yes, sir.
First race, first win,
sir.
First truck race of the season. I'm loving this podcast. I don't know about you guys. We're only 3 minutes in.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. I got that vibe. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So, last week when we started this podcast off, we talked about rules. And the admin sat down. And this is what I love about ECR is they want it to be as close as NASCAR. And I think we all talked about this, reasons why we love this. They decided, look, NASCAR does, 40-car field now for Cup. I forget what it was for Xfinity, and like 32 for trucks. And they said, you know what, we've got more drivers than that. And at the end of the day, we're not making millions and millions of dollars in mortgage payments. Why not just have fun with it too? And they opened it up. Full fields, each division. That's one hell of an awesome admin group. Don't you think, Luis? I mean, you're an admin to just go in and be like, you know what? Let's open it up. Let's have fun. Even though we are like NASCAR, sometimes we have to kind of do our own thing too because this is the elite on iRacing as far as league wise.
No, and the whole thought process behind was we have so many guys wanting to race with us, and that's awesome that we had so many new recruits, so many new guys wanting to come in and race. Especially in the trucks, that is by NASCAR standards, the smallest field. And we're going to have almost more guys going home for not being able to qualify on time than guys actually running. So the idea behind was like, you know what? We have the ability to have up to 40 guys in a race. Why not do it? Let's just do it. Let's get everybody in the race, have the best field that we can, speed-wise, and we're going to have a blast. And I think that's what we saw this week, running all 3 series at Daytona. that man, when all these guys are in the track, we have awesome racing. Awesome racing.
Yeah, going into the season, everybody was wondering how that caution clock would play out, and no one realized how long 20 minutes is actually going to be, and especially at Daytona, 24 laps is it's plenty. It's a long green run, it's just outside of a field
Donnie,
run.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're getting reports that for some reason the sound's not going through.
Wondering how that caution. Maybe just John, because I can hear Donnie now.
Oh,
I can hear
we
Donnie.
can, yeah. I don't know.
And,
Just
it's
guys
just
that are
outside
listening
of a field
reporting
run.
to us that they couldn't hear. But we're getting reports that for some reason the sound's not going through.
Wondering how that caution. Maybe just John. Hey guys, it's working. I can hear Donnie now. Never happened. Shh. It never happened. Guys, listen. Shh. Shh. I can hear you.
John, say something.
Yeah.
Say something like we're not even here.
Donnie, they're gonna notice. Go.
All right. Well, like I said, 24 laps is a long green run, and it's just outside of a caution, or not a caution, but a pit run in there. And I tried to bake a gamble. I was the first one on pit road, and I was trying to get it. I was hoping I didn't go a lap down, and the caution clock came out. I think about a lap after I came off of pit road, and it's just outside. I was up to speed, and I was lucky to be the beneficiary and to be the control car going to the next green flag run there. But yeah, that caution clock, it was a nice little break to have. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season and how it plays out at different tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why we had trouble there in the beginning, but we'll get this thing worked out.
Apparently, there's something wrong with your microphone, John, or something like that related to that. That's the report that I'm getting from our production crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
For some reason, that's your mic's not showing up.
Trouble there in the beginning, but we'll get this thing worked out.
I think they're boycotting you. I think it's personal. Your microphone, John.
I think we're working now though, because I can definitely hear it.
All right. So if you can, all good. Let's follow along.
Hell with it. We haven't been that far. We're only a few minutes into it. Let's just we're good now. We're fixed. Let's just keep rolling with it.
Hell yeah.
All right. So screw it. During the off season, there was a lot of fun. We touched on last week, and one thing we noticed, Xfinity was a good time. There was a few loose ends, some rusty areas. Daytona 500 was a blast. A few little rusty areas. We got to the truck race, and it was clean slate. Admins were on top of it. They were getting these rules. I mean, they were getting guys for laying back. They were getting guys for out of position. It looks like that they're really focused on moving toward the straight and narrow. So a lot of guys are going to have to button on up moving into these next couple weeks, especially at the 500. So let's move in. Big topic, the Daytona 500. And we need to spend just a few minutes on this. The Daytona 500 is one of those things where everybody wants to win a race. Everybody wants to win a championship. But when you have the first race of the season, you have all those jitterbugs. Look, NASCAR builds so much hype on Daytona 500. anything that you do racing wise, it's Daytona 500. You get on iRacing, you want to run the NIS Daytona 500. Now you go to these leagues or whatever league, it's Daytona 500. So we have the ECR Daytona 500. There's so much hype into this thing. It was absolutely intense. I know everybody's ready to move on to Atlanta, but Kenner, what are your thoughts about the hype that is built in with participating and running in the ECR Daytona 500? Well, it's R500, but just, I mean, there was so much like built up anxiety, and nervousness toward this thing. And man, it just tore people's nerves apart.
I'm going to tell you, man, I was pumped up for this, and iRacing for a while, running official races, NIS, and whatnot. I was nervous when that race started. I mean, really, I couldn't keep it. You were behind me for a while. I was trying to keep it straight, but it went down. I watched the broadcast the next day, and we had everything. I mean, we had the two-wide racing. We had some long green flag runs, some good runs. I mean, everybody ran good. I watched the broadcast as a race fan, and at the end, we had drama. And if people were viewing that, well, people were viewing it, but you go back and look, and man, we didn't even know who the winner was at the broadcast until, things got sorted out. Luis actually had to go to
Sorry about that, guys.
Luis actually had to go to the ECR hauler so he could lock down the broadcast. It was awesome being in it, but then watching it as a race fan. I mean, people got a show. I'm not kidding. It might have sucked for some people. It kind of got a little crazy at the end, but it was some drama at the end, man. It was awesome.
Right, and that, the drama at the end, it all has to fall back on. It is I keep going back to hype, but that's exactly what it is. I mean, when you look at Daytona 500, you look at speed weeks, you look at testing for it, you look at, people will spend time going out and running 2-3 laps, come back in, make a change, go run 2-3 laps, come back, make a change, and for that single car run speed, trying to just dial it in just maybe a tenth, maybe 100th. There's so much effort that goes into Daytona 500. It's not like you come back here in July and you try and win Daytona. I mean, you do, but it's not the Daytona 500. You didn't win along with 39 other guys, 40 other guys, whatever it is. Next time you have a chance is next February. It's not like, it's the Daytona 500. So we had some crazy track temperatures. It was hot as hell. Cars were pushing up the track. It was absolutely insane. You had to stay out of trouble. You had to survive. It was a battle of attrition. It was an amazing race. It was hard. With the setups and everything like that. I was behind you, Kenner, and it was just like after about 5-10 laps, cars started washing up the hill. You couldn't hold it down because we didn't have that max grip. It was just crazy.
I was glad to be a part of it. No joke. It was awesome. Like I say, leading up to it, and I don't think I've ever been so nervous starting a race.
Right. Luis Salmaso. We have to jump right into this.
He is the man.
You had the fastest car out of all speed weeks with Kenner, an absolute close second nipping at your heels. Going into the Daytona 500 that day, Rudy from MaxSpeed TV was supposed to broadcast us. We all do this online, computers, all that good stuff. Stuff happens, things break. It was an unfortunate accident that something happened to his computer where he couldn't broadcast that day. You stepped up and said, you know what? These guys at ECR deserve to have it broadcasted. You pulled yourself out of the Daytona 500 knowing that you were the heavy favorite going in to win to put on, basically broadcast for these guys. And I can't tell you, how appreciative, I or anybody else was for you to do that. But, I just want to know, man, what do you think? What are your thoughts? We haven't really talked too much about that. That was an incredible, unselfish act to go, guys, I got this, knowing that you were probably going to win that thing.
The whole decision process took about 5 minutes, to be honest with you. because we've been building ECR, and most of the job was already done by Anthony, ECR president, and the admins that work with him through console, beginning the operations on iRacing when I joined last year. So I became an admin midway through the year, and I saw, and I'm lucky enough to say that I was one of the guys that had my hands on the beginning of this year's build of everything. And now we're seeing everything that we thought one day we could have. A large number of guys, full fields, sponsored, broadcast, the whole thing. We thought we were going to take 3-4 years to get to this point. Took us 5 months. And pretty much everything that we wanted as a league, as admin, that guys are in the background thinking about how can we make this better, right? We have. And one of the big vehicles to communicate what we are doing is the broadcast. If we don't have broadcast races, no one's going to know how we run, how well we run, how good the racing here is. So we need to put the product out there. How in the world are we not going to broadcast the Daytona 500? Can you imagine Fox coming along and saying 4 hours before the racing, you know what, guys? I think we have a problem in the truck, and we're not going to broadcast the 500 this year. But no problem, we're going to broadcast next week.
Well, it all goes back to the hype of the Daytona 500. I mean, I keep using this word, but I can't find another word that defines the excitement, the thrill, the nervousness, the stress, the anger, the frustration. I mean, you got all these words, but the one word I keep going back to is hype. It is insane. It is absolutely insane, and the hype is the reason why we had the finish we did.
Yeah, everything that I just said went through my mind. And the thing it sucks because I think I can win this race. I think I'm fast enough. I think I'm one of the favorites, and I really, really wanted to have this race broadcasted. And then talking to a couple of other guys, I heard, I don't know who said that to me, and he stuck. So, man, I worked so hard during the off season, and I'm at the point right now that I really think I can win. And it blows that I cannot. I told everybody that this race is going to go on. Everybody's waiting to see me. And then it hit me. I said, I did everything that he said during the off season. I improved myself as a driver. I know I'm faster than I was last year. I know I'm in a better place. I know I can hang with the fast guys in the league. I can run for wins. And then it hit me. You know what? It doesn't matter if it's this week, if it's the next week. I'm in an extremely good place that I know I'm going to win races. Either this week, another week, Super Speedway, Talladega. We have another race in Daytona, so I'm good. You know what? There are guys that are counting in this thing. Why not do it? I know I can do it. I know I have the equipment. I broadcasted races before, even though I'm not a pro. Why not? So there are guys that this is what they're being waiting for. Let's do it. Like, it's nothing. Like, all right, there's another Daytona 500 next year. Who cares?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Win the championship.
I'll tell you this, Luis.
Even better.
You picked up the number 88 in the offseason. We'll just chalk it up to this. You're a very, unselfish. You did an amazing act for the league. You got the number 88. Dale Jr. last year, he finished, I think it was the second or third Daytona 500, went on to just clear everybody's clocks in Amelia the rest of the damn year. So, potentially, next Talladega in April, July race at Daytona, Talladega again in October, we might as well just be following the 88 around all race.
Not if I get to that quarter panel.
There you go. He had to say it. I knew the truth was going to come out. I knew it.
Kenner with the zinger. Well, Luis, I can't tell you how much it meant to anybody in this league that you did what you did. It was, it's amazing to have a guy like you. And this goes back to the ECR family. We are a family, and it takes some amazing people to make all this stuff work. And we appreciate what you did for us there for the Daytona 500.
Hey, I'm just glad I was able to broadcast one of my teammates winning the race in my setup So it was all good. It was all good.
And you're a hell of a broadcaster,
He's a
by the
man,
way,
he's
too.
a man.
He pretty much took him. I'm pretty sure Amelia was taken from the garage. He painted in a different color and went on and win the race. But that's all good.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw Ginger load that thing up in the holler and take her on back to the shop. Said nobody's touching this.
Yeah, I think we're rebranding it now, and the next car we're gonna call it Carmelita.
Absolutely.
That's the name that we're gonna brand it. So watch out, Carmelita's gonna come with a lot of spice. So.
Hey Donnie, so you've been with the league. I think you came at the end of last year. You were race controller for the Daytona 500. As you're doing race control, you had help from Jai Hadrick too. But as you're doing race control, you could just feel the intensity growing throughout this race because it was kind of calm. There was some racing. People were fighting the living hell out of their setups. Tight. Well, one guy was loose, but tight. Everybody's pushed up track. There's some passing going on. Lots of strategy. You could feel this excitement. I mean, I know as a driver, I felt it. Tell me about the nerves that you had as a race controller to make the right calls on some of the close, questionable calls that we had.
That's funny because at the beginning of that race, we had that long green run, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, if this is how it's going to be, man, this is going to be easy. It's going to be fun. Just sit back and watch. And then, about halfway, it started to get a little hairy there, and when something happens and two cars get involved, it's hard for just one person to make the call. That's why we have two people in race control, and we come up to a decision there, and if we both bet heads, then we ask an admin, and just to get the call right, I think is our obviously our main goal. But I mean, with the technology in iRacing where you could adjust the cameras, they make it so much easier for us, and not only that, if we do make a mistake, we have an admin review after the race, and we do go back and we do what's right, and we'll either take away an EOL if they feel like it was done wrong, but it's stressful, man. Like especially the Daytona 500. That's the biggest race of the year. Everybody's dog at it, and just for AJ, congrats. I wish that race ended under better circumstances, but man, it's stressful.
Right.
It is stressful. Like it's all judgment. It really is.
And just in case we have anybody that doesn't follow ECR but is listening to this podcast, Daytona 500, we had 200 laps. We come down the end. There was a late caution with like 8 or 6 to go. 8 or 7 to go, something like that. In ECR rulebook, if we have 1 lap to go as we're getting ready to take the green, they throw a caution. We don't do a race back. All hell usually breaks loose on that 1 lap dash. It's proven, 100% proven. All hell breaks loose on a 1 lap dash line. Doesn't matter. Nobody wants to wad up a bunch of cars, especially after running 200 laps. So what happened was there was a caution. We thought that the race was going to be over. It turned out it wasn't. There was a lot of different stuff going on TeamSpeak. The race went back green. Instant caution should have been happened. This is where the admin staff and what Donnie James was talking about come back and relook at stuff. The field was actually frozen just past the trioval when the actual caution should have came out. Kept on going fast forward, down the backstretch. A lot of different stuff happens. Everybody wads it up. That goes to where the 100% carnage comes from. After the race, unofficial results. Kirkquist won it. They go review it. The tape should have come out after trioval. AJ Scarborough is your winner. So, back to Donnie, that last statement he made, that's what happened. It was absolutely an incredible race. It is time to interview our Daytona 500 winner, AJ Scarborough.
What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, brother. So, you've been with ECR, I think, since console, so for several years. You said how bad you wanted to win a race. You pulled off the Daytona 500. I want to know what you thought about the hype leading to this and what you felt about this race particularly.
Just there's so much hype building up for weeks as far as speed weeks goes, and you get the qualifying races, you got the shootouts, you got the duels, plus it's the most prestigious race on the circuit. there's just so much of an emotional roller coaster leading up and during a 200-lap event at Daytona. It's just amazing to be there with a shot at the end there, and all the ups and downs throughout the race, and just humbled to be your Daytona 500 champ.
At it's a battle of attrition, and whether it's avoiding crashes, fighting a setup, fighting the weather, fighting whatever, you got to be there at the end in order to win a race, or at least have a chance at it. And you're able to overcome all that. At any point during the race, did you? Because you were riding around like at the end of the main pack for a while. Did you think that you were in a bad position, or was that part of your strategy? Was just kind of ride around, let the race unfold, and then go for it at the end?
That wasn't really the strategy. I was having some ping issues, and I didn't want to force the issue with anybody and cause any problems. Me and Kenner had some type of a ping issue, and I ended up costing him his chance at a Daytona 500, which I apologize again there, Michael. So I couldn't go until everything was working good. And once everything started working good, and I got the okay from race control that I was looking good, I just put it to the floor and just happened to work out with a great pit stop.
I will say, you don't have to apologize to me, man. I looked at that, and that was some crazy stuff. But I look at things like that, power goes out, or there's some ping issues or whatever else. I look at it as one of those unknowns when a driver blows a tire, when there's a mechanical issue. We don't have those in iRacing, of course. I look at that as one of those unknown things, and that wasn't nothing you did, although I will, cut the power to your house and make sure you got no water. But
well, I mean, let's not go overkill or nothing. Just do a little bit or something. Damn.
That's nothing to feel sorry about, though, man. I mean, it's fair and square. It is what it is. It would have happened. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
AJ, you ran for Hamuff. Haters make us famous. I love saying Hamuff. Haters make us famous last year. You made it to the chase. You had a good run in the chase. Almost won the damn championship. Over the off season, you joined with Spartan Racing. Do you think that you gained momentum heading into the season by making that change?
I think there's a little momentum gained in there. I mean, we all kind of agreed that we were going to part ways and everybody's going to go our own separate ways. I planned on running a single car operation. Got a call from the owner on the phone with an opportunity to race for Spartan Motorsports. That's an opportunity you can't turn down, so I surely accepted it, and I got nothing but the most respect for all them guys at Haters Make Us Famous. We had an awesome year last year. We learned a lot from each other, and I'm sure they're going to be contenders this year also.
Hell yeah, they had a stacked house last year at the end of the year when I came in there, and they have like 3 cars in the championship, and they look like they're going to be contenders this year too. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun season, and there's a lot of good teams out there. So, AJ, the absolute winning move was there was a green flag pit stop with strategy with around 25 to go, and you came out, and the lead pack that pitted was Anthony Fitchner, Justin Bland, and myself. And you came out of the pits like 3 laps after us and got in front of our pack, and then you got a massive push and wound up in the front of our pack when the caution came out. From then on, you were the leader of the race. That was the winning move of the race. At any time during that, I mean, did you think that, what's going through your head? You're coming down the end of the Daytona 500. You just got to the front of the pack. Now you have to defend your ass off. I mean, the hype, everything about the Daytona 500. What are you thinking toward the end of these laps?
Well, in that little pack there, I kind of felt good because I knew I had the best tires out of the 4 of us there. Now, I was a little disappointed because Ron Miller, we pitted together. We both took 2 tires, and I believe we could have stayed in front of you guys because we had such a great pit stop. Unfortunately, he had speed on pit road. But I knew once I got that push from you and I had the front, I knew if they went to the outside of me, you was gonna protect me and give me that push. So if it would have stayed green there, I would have had the utmost confidence that we still could have won that race.
Yeah, I kind of felt like
cautions.
I kind of felt like maybe Dale Earnhardt or Michael Waltrip or Dale Jr. there when they you got your leader, you got your guy out there that's racing for you, but you also want to win, but you also want to protect. You don't know what the hell to do, and I unfortunately clipped the apron and lost it and set up the massive carnage at the end. But I mean, hats off to you. You drove an amazing race because you had to fight the whole damn time with setup and everything. You came out of the pits. You made the winning move. I mean, awesome job. Do you think that, this basically solidifies your ticket into the chase, so you can just go have fun the rest of the year, basically. Do you think that winning this Daytona 500 propels you more momentum going in the season in the Cup Series? Awesome job.
For sure. We came so close so many times last year to getting a Cup win. And for whatever reason, whether it be system failures or just downright bad luck, we couldn't get over the hump. So to finally get over the hump, being on such a great team, I feel like moving forward we have many opportunities to win multiple races this year.
Well, hell yes, man. Well, AJ, big time congrats. You're the 2016 ECR Daytona 500 winner. That in itself is just one of them little titles that nobody can take away from you. It's pretty damn awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of it.
Well, go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to you and Luis and everybody at Spartan Motorsports that worked their tails off these past 2 weeks to be ready for the Daytona 500. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Hey, we have fun doing it, brother. Well, unfortunately, being a podcast apparently had some issues with my mic again. So, hey, you know what? The hell with it. We will get this podcast fixed where it's running like a well-oiled machine. So, we got a few minutes left. We'll just make this thing kind of squeak on out of here at the end of this podcast. Let's go into the Xfinity. We had a damn blast. The Xfinity, they don't have as much power as the Cup cars, and you could get some massive runs on that outside. Unlike the Cup cars, it was really handling. The Xfinity cars we run on Monday nights, they have fixed setups. You get a couple cars together, and if you're 4th or 5th or 6th in the pack, you could go sailing up there with such massive runs, and I think that contributed to a couple of the wrecks. Anybody thoughts on the Xfinity? It was a fun time, but I cannot get over of how fast the closing rate was, because guys really had to be paying attention in the mirrors and listen to their spotters.
A lot of things I saw in that Xfinity race was a lot of people were tagging that wall, and they were just maintaining speed. They don't, like you said, that they don't have the power, but boy, aerodynamic of that track is just everything. And with those Xfinity cars, man, you could keep in the pack regardless of how many times you tag that wall.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We saw, a lot. I keep calling them newcomers. Eventually, here, a couple more weeks, we won't be calling them newcomers. But a lot of these guys, you got Pat Rusha, Brad Bohr, George Munger, Blake Freeman, Trevor. Terry Griffey. These are guys that just came into this season, and they're up here finishing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 guys I'm seeing in the top 15 that are new. They're not returning from last year.
Tired of it too.
Well, Kenner, why don't you go cut all their water supplies, their houses?
Yeah.
Kenner's gonna be a busy man. He might not be around this weekend.
Yeah. I got some traveling to do.
You got some damn traveling to do. So Xfinity was a good time. Be sure to catch Xfinity race. I believe they're Atlanta, Monday night. ARAN Broadcasting. Check them out. It's gonna be a whale of a good time. Let's move on to trucks. Another fun time. Donnie James, first time race or official race with ECR, wins the ECR Truck Series race. Donnie, congratulations. That had to be an awesome feeling.
Yeah, man, it's first one of the season and my first race there, and it was a great win, a sweet win. I was trying to just push my teammate up there, and unfortunately that last lap wreck, and I was lucky to be in the right spot at the right time.
Well, about 20 to go, you got a pack of about 30 trucks, and all hell broke loose to Tri-Oval when they went 3 wide. In your opinion, as just solely the race winner, just your opinion, Do you think with 20 to go it was too early to run 3 wide? Do you think it's acceptable? Do you think that just by seeing what you've seen since you've been here, that this group could handle it and that was just a fluke?
Absolutely. I think it was just a fluke. There's nothing that says that these boys can't run 3 wide. Everybody's here is a great driver. Pardon any lagging issues or ping issues. There's no reason why we can't go 3 wide at Daytona. You see it on TV on Sunday, Friday, Saturday nights. There's no reason why we can't do it here. And I don't think it was too early. I thought it was a ballsy move, but and if it was going to pay off, like that's something I would have learned and taken that back to Daytona in July.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to give a shout out to Scotty B with the broadcast in the Truck Series. Be sure to check them out next Wednesday night. Trucks will be at Atlanta. I want to touch on this. Xfinity and Trucks are both fixed. So in real terms, since we go off of the weather that the real guys do, the Xfinity in Atlanta will be running at 1:30 on Saturday. So the temps are going to be, I don't know. I guess I really don't know how it's going to affect the Xfinity and Trucks because Xfin runs at 1:30 and Trucks run at 4:30. And if it's a cold weekend, I guess it's really kind of a wash, minus the the wind. I'm going to predict that the trucks are going to be on top of each other because the cool weather, the amount of grip that they're going to have, they'll be on top, but they'll be sliding a little bit with the wind. I think it's going to be very similar to a restrictor plate race with the trucks at Atlanta, just because you can pretty much flat-foot it. I think the Xfinity is going to put on one hell of a show with cool temps, and then again, Cup on Tuesday, cool temps. I think it's going to be mainly setup base, and they're going to be chewing the hell out of tires. That's just my opinion. Kenner, you got any thoughts?
Yep, I'm with you 100%. And actually, we were talking on One Up Motorsports about the cooler temperatures and the tires and how they're going to wear out, and trying to set up Tyler for a long run. And it's the cooler temps are really going to chew them up. And I think on Sunday we're going to see a hell of a race too.
Yeah, I agree. And, for some people, they would think the cooler temps associate with more grip, which means you're not going to chew them up as bad because, your cooler tires. But it's actually opposite because you got so much more speed when you got cooler temps that you put so much more side load on that right front tire. You actually chew that tire up faster. How do I want to word this? You slide the right front more in the hotter temperatures, but you dig in more on the faster cool temperatures. So you may be able to run faster speeds for 10, 12 laps in cooler temps than you can hot, but as soon as you hit that cliff at 15 or 16, you dive. I mean, you're diving off that cliff straight down.
Cliff too.
Oh,
exactly.
I mean, you're diving straight down compared to hot temperatures where you're gradually, so you'll run, let's just, for instance, I'm going to use points because I don't remember what the first part, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 30 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to gradually decel in the hot weather, cold weather, cliff,
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Atlanta's fun to follow Daytona. You can kind of get out of the, hold it and floor it and actually get into some driving. You can move around Atlanta. One thing we're learning, you can start moving that damn car around to the high side through 1 and 2, the middle, or still run the bottom. So very interesting. Check out, Rudy's got his stuff fixed. Max Speed TV Tuesday night for the ECR Cup race at Atlanta. AJ, Donnie, you guys got any thoughts for the Cup race in Atlanta?
I'm just hoping it's a good race, man. As from what I saw, it should be.
I'm just going to be happy to have some breathing room and not be stuffed in the middle of a pack.
Better hope you're not with my ass.
I'm going to put a damn parachute on Kenner, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to do a real quick shout out to Trevor McManus. Happy birthday, bro. And, yeah, we're gonna cap off this podcast. I know that a couple guys said that at the beginning, we had some mic issues and trouble. We just kind of covered a few rule changes with the admins, maxing out the 40-car fields, or they're maxing out the fields and caution clock and stuff. So we'll get all this shit worked out. We want to thank Nicole Johnson for her hard work on the website and any other admin that's been involved. We really, really appreciate it. You know, it's been a fun week. We're all glad we're out of damn Daytona. I mean, it's just so much hype going into it, but it's time to move on. And on behalf of the ECR podcast, does anybody else here have anything else they'd like to add? I'm going to take that as a no since they're all silent.
I'm good, man.
Oh, I didn't push my button again.
Damn it, Kenner, get your head out of your ass.
I got a side note, something we were really proud of at HMUF last year. You stated we had 3 in, but we actually had 5 in. So it's one hell of a team effort last year from all of us at HMUF.
You know what? Just blame that on me because I don't have the stats right in front of me, so hell of a job to hum off.
No problem, no problem.
Hum off. I like that. Wow.
All right. Well, on behalf of ECR Pod, or Jesus God, I cannot talk tonight. On behalf of the ECR team, we want to thank everybody for checking out this broadcast. On behalf of myself, I want to thank everybody in the booth. AJ for his win on the 500. Donnie for coming in, chatting with us. The win for Spartan in the Truck Series. You know, it's been a fun week. It's time to move on. And I just want to say, as a proud damn owner, I just feel like a boss. So we're going to close it out like this. You come back and check out ECR Podcast next week. We'll get this finished. And we closing out this podcast like a boss.
Rejected, swallow sadness, send some faxes, call a sex line.